All right, now let us write the next method. Okay, and the last method probably in this particular notebook. Okay, what does this do? This is basically going to it's a firstly it's a private method, and what does it do? It basically parses your XML response. That is what it does. Okay, so I'm just going to create a method called as parse XML response, and this is also the method that will be applied here. If you see on the XML raw XML string. Okay, it takes the XML text. Okay, and then looks good. What does it return? It returns a list of dictionary, okay, of string and any. Okay, and cool. What does this do? It basically parses the XML text, okay, or XML response. Okay, let me remove this. From PubMed efetch. Now PubMed will be using efetch, okay, into a list of clean Python dictionaries. Okay, that is what it will be doing, right? So that is typically very interesting to work with here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to import a library called as xml.etree.element tree, okay, as et. Okay, and then I'm just going to first, it takes in the papers, right, which is the list of dictionary of string and any. Okay, as of now I'm going to set it to empty. Okay, I'm going to say try. Okay, and then I'm going to say root equals to et dot from string, and which takes the XML text. Okay, so this means parse the XML string, okay, into an element tree. Okay, and root is the top level element and everything else is nested inside. In case you're interested in XML, you can get into the depths. If not, avoid it, just write this program. What we are doing, we're just converting XML to Python dictionary. Don't stress out on this one. Okay, even if you avoid this and just copy paste, it will do no harm. It's totally fine. I'm just going to say in root dot find all. Okay, apologies for that. Okay, and then I'm in find all, I'm just going to put in let's say PubMed article. Okay, and I'm just going to say paper equals to self dot extract paper fields, okay, on the article. Okay, so which means extract the fields from that we care about from this particular article, and it returns a dictionary or none if the extraction failed. Okay, and in case if we get it, so it's just going to say paper start. So the paper start append paper, so we're going to take this and we're going to append this to this particular empty list. Okay, except I'm going to put in the error et dot parse error, okay, as e, and I'm going to log it. Okay, I'm going to say failed to parse PubMed XML response. Okay, and I'm going to say return papers. Okay, all right, this looks fine. Okay, and then finally what I'm going to write, I'm just going to write create a function called as this function we're going to write extract paper fields. Okay, and again takes in the self article element. Okay, and what does this return? It returns a dictionary of string, else none. Okay, so it extracts the fields that we need from the PubMed article. Okay, it navigates through the XML tree structure to find specific elements like article title, article abstract test, all of that. Okay, that is what it does. Okay, again I'm just going to call this as it is here. Okay, and I'm just going to create a function that gets the text. Okay, so I'm just going to say get text element any. Okay, path is string. Okay, then it sets it to default as string only. Okay, and we're going to set it to string. All right, after that, what is this what we're doing here, what we did now, get text. What is get text exactly? This is nothing but it's a simple helper function, okay, which finds the XML element by path and it returns its textual content. It's textual content, that is what it does. Okay, so I'll just create node equals to element dot find basis the path. As I said, avoid this if you're not interested. Okay, this is not going to make any sense if you're not interested. Okay, if node, I'm going to say strip it text, I mean we're just cleaning this. Okay, if is not none, and node dot text, else it's going to be set it to default. Okay, so if the node exists, then has the text, return the stripped text, else just set the default. That is what it means. Okay, so I'm just going to set the try block here. Okay, p mid, I'm going to apply this function get text, okay, on the article element. Okay, and sorry, this is going to be okay. Now PubMed is the unique identifier. PMed, if you see here, that is the PubMed unique identifier for the research paper. Okay, and if you see dot followed by 2 forward slashes, this means search at any depth in the element. That is what it means. Okay, then we're going to get the title of the research paper basically. Yeah, so I'm just going to say article element, and then I'm just going to say article title. Okay, then I'm just going to call abstract texts, okay, equals to article element dot find all. Okay, and then I'm going to say abstract text. Okay, abstract equals to dot join. Okay, node dot text dot strip. Okay, and I'm just going to say for node in abstract text. Okay, if node dot text. Okay, so we're just going to loop over it. So if we're going to loop over the abstract text, if we get it, we're going to clean it, that's all, and we're going to join it using empty spaces and not empty spaces, and we're going to store all of this in abstract. Okay, now some abstracts have multiple abstract text sections, okay, like background, methods, research, conclusions. So we're going to fetch all of that as well. Okay, so you need to be a bit more patient. Okay, I know this is a very boring part, but be a bit more patient, and we're just doing some data extraction, that's all. Okay, article, this is article element. Okay, and then I'll be just writing, in fact let me do one thing, let me just fetch it from here. I have written the code already to save one time. Yeah, all right, if you see here again, yeah, I'm going to extract the publication date year, I'm going to extract the publication month, I'm going to extract the publication date, I'm also going to extract the journal name. Okay, the name of the journal, then I'm going to get the name of the author. Then we're going to just kind of iterate over all the author elements. We're going to extract the name of the so every research has an author, right? That author will be having a first name and a last name. That is what we're going to store in this particular empty list. Okay, so we're going to build a list of author names, okay, in the first and last format. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to find all the clinical trials that are referenced in this particular paper, and that is what we're going to do here. Okay, we're just going to access over all of them. Okay, and we're going to find all the clinical trials that we have accessed in this particular paper, and here you'll be just getting list of all the NCT IDs which are relevant to the research. Finally, what does PubMed client return? When we say this client works and performs 2 API calls, what did they return? They return the PubMed ID, title of the paper, abstract of the paper, journal name, publication date, authors, the n number of NCT IDs that you're going to refer, and the source, which is again PubMed. And then finally we do the exception logging. Okay, so guys, that was about PubMed client, which is again the second part of ingestion. Okay, again, as I said, because you're writing production level code, it might require I understand, there will be some hardships that you have to go through, but you guys are learning a lot in the process. Okay, all right, let's move to the next part.